This yoga stretching sequence is especially for athletes. I have a 16-year-old son who plays high-level soccer, and when I get to travel with his team, we do some yoga stretching between games to help the team just loosen up and not be so stiff and to help them perform at their best. So this video is for the athletes or the people who are just stiff and need to loosen up, but really focusing on the high performance, high level athlete that just needs to stretch. So we're gonna be focusing on the fascia along the back side of the body, the fascia along the front side of the body. We're gonna stretch out the hips, the muscles around the spine, and just help athletes perform at their best. And this video can be used by the soccer team as they travel and I can't travel with them, if there's ever those times after games at home when they need to stretch out. And so anyways, I always say this, but always please consult with a healthcare professional before beginning any workout program. So this is some yoga stretching. I just don't, like, if your body's not used to yoga stretching, I don't want you to injure yourself. So you're going to need to consult with your healthcare professional before you begin any workout program. So think of this as your higher level type athlete or somebody who's used to movement. But what I've noticed with my son's soccer team is they are very stiff. So we're going to try to get those muscles loosened up in those high-performing athletes. So first of all, just a range of motion that everybody should be able to have is kneeling. And some of these 16-year-old boys cannot bring their hips down to their feet. And this is the high-level performing soccer player. So this is a range of motion we should be able to maintain throughout our lives, where we're kneeling down, our knees are together, and this is going to lengthen the quadriceps, but it's just a range of motion that we should be able to have throughout our lives. So simple motion, a really good way to begin, and let's just start with a nice deep breath in. Exhale. Okay, I have socks on. If you are gonna slip, if you're gonna be on a slippery surface, you can take your socks off and do this with tennis shoes. But we are going to go into a downward facing dog, which is going to stretch the fascia along the back side of the body, and I want to show you a few different modifications for this stretch. So I'm going to have you come up to a hands and knees position, and then I'm going to have you tuck your toes and make sure that you have good grip. I have a really sticky mat, so I'm okay to have socks on. But you don't want to slip. You don't want your feet to come out from under you. And then you're slowly going to begin to lift your hips. And what you're trying to do is get your head between your arms and your heels as close to the floor as possible, lengthening the backside of those legs, lengthening all the way down the backside of your back, up and over your skull. So there's this nice deep stretch. And then we're going to do, let me move my hair out of the way so you can hear me. We're gonna do something called walk the dog, where we bend one knee and then we switch to the other. Switch, switch, switch. Now press both heels down and begin to lower to a plank position. And then you're going to lower the entire body down towards the mat all together. And then let's start with a modified cobra, where we push our elbows into the mat. So now we're stretching the fascia along the front side of the body, lifting the top of the head towards the ceiling or the sky, feeling that length down the abdominals. And if your range of motion allows, then you can press into the floor and lift your torso a little higher. And then if your range of motion allows, you can slide your hands a little bit closer and lift a little bit higher into an upward facing dog. So you have a couple of options here. You can be here, you can be on your elbows, but what you're trying to do is lengthen that front side of your body. Now we're going to go into a child's pose, which is going to help relax the body. It stretches the hips. You're going to feel your quadriceps be able to stretch. If you can bring your forehead to the mat, go ahead and drop all the way down into a low position. So there's a couple options for child's pose. You can have your knees open, you can have your knees closed. I feel like my torso is able to get a little bit deeper if my knees are open. Now lift your hips slightly and then thread your right arm underneath your left, dropping your right ear towards the mat. So your hips have to be up. And this is going to stretch your shoulders. And then switch sides. You always want to stretch both sides equal. Keep those hips lifted. Now come up to a hands and knees position. Get those knees right under those hips. And then arch your spine up to a cat stretch, a yoga cat stretch. You're dropping the top of your head towards the mat and you're tucking your tailbone under. Now drop your torso, lift the top of your head, lift your tailbone. So now we're stretching those muscles around the spine. Think of the muscles curving around your rib cage. Arch back up. And drop back down. And let's come to a seated position. Legs out in front. Pull your right knee into your chest. Cross your right leg over the left. Twist towards that bent knee. Turn and look behind you. Bring that hand to the floor behind you. And then turn around and look. And you're pulling the right knee towards the left shoulder in that twist. This is for your hips, but it's also stretching your spine. Face forward. Now one way you can modify this is you can tuck this leg under. That's going to take it a little deeper in your hips, and then twist. Okay, let's switch sides. This time, left knee bends, left leg crosses over right. You're pulling the left knee towards the right shoulder as you wrap this arm around the leg. Place that hand behind you and twist. Keep your spine tall here. If you sit at a desk all day, but you're an active person, these are also some really good stretches. Notice how we're opening up that chest, the chest that's closed all day as we're typing at the computer. And face forward, tuck this bottom leg under. This is just another modification, and then you can twist and look behind you. Keep that spine tall, stretching those muscles around the spine, and especially this outer hip. Okay, release. Now I'm going to bring you all the way down to a laying down position, and we're going to do a few stretches down on the floor. Go ahead and lengthen your legs. Pull the right knee to the chest. Bring the right knee across the midline of the body, and you're pulling that knee towards the left shoulder. Right arm can come out to a capital T position. We're going to go into a stretch called the bretzel. So you're going to bring this left hand to the right ankle. And then you're going to tuck, I'm going to twist so you can see what I'm doing. You're going to tuck this left toe and grab hold of it with the right hand. So your legs are in this almost pretzel type position. That's a deep stretch for our hips. And lay down back on your back. Cross this right ankle over the left knee. Thread your hand through that little needle hole and pull both knees in towards your chest. You can use your right elbow to help open up the right knee, and then just give a gentle pull. There's another really good stretch for those hips. Keep breathing really deep. And uncross that. Lay both legs down. Bring the left knee now in. And then cross the midline of the body, bringing the left knee to the right shoulder. And then open that left arm to a capital T. And then this is where we begin to incorporate that pretzel position. We bring the right hand to the left ankle. We tuck the right toe in and grab hold of that toe with the left hand. Right hand is on left ankle, left hand is on right toe. Nice deep stretch for those hips. And release. Go ahead and place the right foot on the floor, cross the left ankle over the right knee, and then rock those legs in. Use that little needle hole to thread that left hand underneath. Use the left elbow to open up the left knee, and there's another nice deep stretch for that outer hip on that left side. Keep breathing. Let each exhale be a release of any muscle tension that you're holding on to. Release that muscle tension. And uncross. You're gonna rock yourself up to be seated. Lengthen your legs in front of you, breathe in. Exhale, fold forward. Lengthening the back side of those legs and uncurl. I'm going to have you bend the left knee, keep the right leg straight, stretch up and over towards the straight leg. And go the other direction, stretch up and over towards the bent knee. And to increase this stretch, so we're looking to stretch the fascia along the right side of the body, you can lift those hips up off the ground. Slightly press those hips forward, and there's a nice deep stretch down that right side of the body. Lower the hips, switch legs. Stretch up and over towards that straight leg. And then stretching the fascia along the left side of the body, stretch towards the bent knee. And to increase the stretch, just lift the hips. Bring awareness if there's any tightness through those hips or anywhere in the body. And lower the hips and bring the bottom of your feet together. When you do the butterfly stretch, it's important to hold onto your ankles, not your toes. So you're gonna hang onto your ankles, and I wanna show you what's happening through my spine. We're gonna round the spine forward so that we're bringing our forehead towards our big toes. Now keep the spine round, but rock back, lengthening your arms. Sit tall, lean forward with a flat back. Our range of motion isn't as big here, but it's a little bit deeper. Sit tall, keep your legs in this position. Set one hand on the floor, reach up and over. Nice big side stretch and other direction. And take your legs to a comfortable position. And remember, range of motion, we do want to be able to sit back on our feet. If this gets too tight, then you really need to work through loosening up these quadriceps. So that's a good range of motion to maintain throughout our lives. One more stretch I want to show you. This one's intense. I don't want anybody to get injured, so you only go here if you know your body can go here. But it's really good for stretching the spine, stretching the hips, stretching these quadriceps. It's really deep, and it's also really good at balancing the root chakra. So that base root chakra has to be balanced in order for all of the other chakras to be balanced. So that root or base chakra is the one closest to the earth. So it's a really good position to go to if you have the range of motion. So this is the last stretch we're gonna do to finish, and it's placing your feet on the floor, dropping your hips, and then you bring your elbows to the inside of your legs, and you can gently rock side to side. And I'm gonna show you from this side angle what's happening through my spine. So I'm slightly rounded forward. I gently rock side to side, And that is a deep, deep stretch. A good range of motion to aim for if you have the joint health, the knee health, the hip health that allows you to go this deep. And it's a really, really good stretch to balance that root or base chakra. And gently lower back down to the mat. Let's finish with a nice deep breath in. Bring your palms together. Exhale, bring your hands to your forehead, to your heart, and to your belly button, recentering the body. Thank you so much for joining me today. Find ways to move every day. Movement is medicine.